All right, so we're looking at linear equations with fractions level 3. And so we're getting some pretty tricky things here. So I want to walk through how I personally would solve something like this. So there are several ways you can go about this. Some people will distribute the fraction here. You can do that. Some people will look for a common denominator for all the terms here, like get a common bottom number on the fraction. For problems like this, it's probably, I don't know, I hate to use the word easiest. It's probably best to distribute this fraction here. I wouldn't necessarily do this in every case, but the other way of explaining it is a little complicated. So for the sake of simplicity, I think we're just going to do that. So when we distribute that 2/3 there, what do we get? So what happens when you take 2/3 times -6? So 2/3 times -6. So what happens here is the top parts multiply together and the bottom part is left alone. And sorry, there's an X there. So basically what happens here is you have the yellow parts multiply together. So 2 times -6 is -12. The X stays there. And then the bottom is just 3. The -6 does not multiply the 3 on the bottom. Those don't touch each other. Okay. And then when you simplify this, what's -12 over 3? It's just -4. Okay. The X stays there. So that's what we're going to get here. We're going to get -4x when we multiply those two together. How about when we multiply 2/3 by -6? Well, it's actually going to be the same thing, except it's just not going to have the x like -6x did. So that's going to be -4. And again, the reason for that is 2/3 times -6. You would only multiply those two guys there, and you leave the 3 alone. So this would be -12 over 3, which is -4. Okay? And that's going to be equal to -4, which was already over there. Okay, so from here, again, there's several different ways you can do this. The way I see this personally is I see -4x, and then I'm going to put these together, right? These are like terms. They're just numbers. So -1/2 minus 4 would be -4.5. Some people write 4.5, although I'm really hesitant to have you guys use decimals. So here's personally how I would solve this one, okay? I'm literally going to multiply everything by 2. Why am I doing that? Because what it does is it gets rid of this fraction here, okay? That's just kind of my preference for this. So when you multiply this, the 2 and the 2 here cancel, and you're just left with -1 there, okay? We have plus and minus here, so let's just say that this is minus, okay? So you have 2 times -4x, that's -8x. 2 times -4 is -8. And then over here, you have -4 times 2, which is -8. Okay? And now what we've got is we got -1 minus 8, so that's -9. So -8x minus 9 is equal to -8. Now we're just solving, and you guys are pretty good for the most part from here. So I would add 9 to both sides. -8x is equal to 1. -8 plus 9 is 1. And then we're going to divide by -8 here. So x in this scenario would be -1 over 8. That would be your answer. And again, I really recommend use fractions, not decimals. The decimal here would be like -0.125, but use fractions. Fractions are better. They are your friend. They are exact. They are not approximations. So, all right, let's look at another one here. So, how about this one? So we got -2x is equal to -x minus quantity 3/2 x minus 1/2 minus 5. So for me first, I see the negative here, so I'm going to distribute that. So I got -2x is equal to -x minus 3/2 x plus 1/2, because you have a negative multiplying a negative. So plus 1/2, and then we got -5. Again, when I have fractions like this, I really do not like that. So I'm going to multiply everybody by 2 to get rid of those fractions. I just don't like fractions, and you guys don't like them either. So that's the easiest way I can think of to get rid of them quickly. This 2 is going to multiply every single term in here. Okay, so it's going to have 4, so it's going to be -2x there. This times 2, the 2's are going to cancel, so you're just going to be left with -3x there. So that's going to be -3x plus, when you multiply this by 2, again, the 2's are going to cancel, and you're just left with 1 there. And then 5 times 2 is 10, so -10 there. Now we're just kind of collecting like terms and simplifying, right? So you got -2x minus 3x, that's -5x. 1 minus 10 is minus 9. For me personally, I'm going to add 5x. I like having positive x's. And if I add 4x, I'm going to get a negative x over here. So I don't like that. So negative 4x plus 5x is 1x, and that's going to be equal to negative 9 because that cancels there. And negative 9 is the only thing left on the right side. Okay? All right, let's look at one more. If you guys, feel good on this, by all means, you can go work on the DeltaMath. But if you're still like, ooh, I should probably look at one more, here you go. Okay, so I see a negative. I'm going to distribute that. So I'm going to get positive x minus 1. Negative times positive is minus 1. Minus 9 equals, I'm going to distribute the 6 here. So when I distribute the 6 times, remember, it's 6 times negative 3. That negative goes to the top there. It could go to the bottom, but I usually distribute it to the top there. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is going to be negative 12 over 4x, right? How am I getting, or sorry, not negative 12, negative 18 over 4x. 18 is coming from 6 times 3. Don't forget the negative. The 4 stays on the bottom. It does not get multiplied by the 6, and then the x just stays there because it was there. Plus, we're going to multiply 6 times 1 on the top here, and the 4 stays on the bottom. And then don't forget the plus 1 here. And then let's, again, I don't like these 4s on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply by whatever happens to be on the bottom of my fractions there. So we'll multiply everything by 4. What do we get when we do that? We get 4x, right? 4x minus 4 minus 36 is equal to, when this multiplies with 4, the only thing that's going to happen is the 4s are going to cancel and you're going to be left with negative 18x. So this is kind of convenient. That takes what would otherwise be a kind of annoying, difficult problem and makes it pretty easy. What's 6 over 4 times 4? The 4's cancel. You're left with 6. And 1 times 4 is just 4. Okay, let's collect like terms here. 4x minus 40, so negative 4 minus 36 is minus 40. It's going to be equal to negative 18x. 6 plus 4 is 10. I'm probably going to add 18x to both sides. And you can actually do multiple things at once. I'm going to add 40 to both sides. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting all the x's to the left over here, and I'm getting all the numbers without x's over to the right. So those are going to cancel. Those are going to cancel. I'm going to be left with 22x is equal to 10 plus 40 is 50, and then we'll divide by 22. And DeltaMath should just accept this answer. Like, you can just say 50 over 22. We like fractions like this. I know in elementary or middle school they told you we don't like improper fractions like that, but we actually do. We prefer them in high school and college and beyond math. So, all right. Hope that helps.